Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your weekly summation for all the simulation releases from the week that was. Alrighty, we're going to get started this week with a classic that is making its way onto the DCS world, so the Spitfire LF Mark 9. So, the iconic Spitfire, I'm sorry, there is just no more beautiful an aeroplane ever produced, not going to lie, is finally making its way to DCS. Now, DCS hinted that it was coming in the near future, releasing a few screenshots over the last few months, but it is now officially, it's available but not available. So it's now available for purchase. You can purchase it directly from the DCS web store, though currently not available in-game. It should be very, very close. So like we've seen with most DCS releases, it comes out as an early sort of work in progress release as it goes through a twisted, a long, convoluted, but very insightful development period before making its final release. So it is available now for pre-purchase from the DCS World website, as I said. This looks absolutely cool and nice. Now, it's just like the Spitfire, as I said, it's a beautiful aeroplane. It is the most beautiful aeroplane ever. This is the LF Mark 9. So this is actually, funny enough, so Mark 9s were designed to be high altitude interception, but the LF one was fitted with the Merlin 66, which means it's actually optimized for slightly lower altitudes. And hence got the LF designation for that one when it was fitted with the Merlin 66. Just looking absolutely amazing. The detail is incredible. Will be very, very interested to see this. It will most definitely probably get me back into the DCS world, that's for sure. But yeah, looking absolutely amazing, and the quality that we've come to expect from the guys over at Fighter Collection and Eagle Dynamics. So yes, available now to pre-purchase from the DCS world. No confirmation on when a flyable aircraft will be available for us, but I anticipate it won't be too far away. Available now, normally $50, currently on a pre-purchase $10 off for $39.99 US dollars or your regional equivalent. Alrighty, moving on from that release into another release this week for this time for the FSX and P3D world. So the guys over at Milviz have rebooted their UH-1 Huey. So this was first released quite a number of years ago. So in fact, actually, like 7 or 8 years ago, actually. So it's been around a while. But no, they've rebooted, they're revisiting it. They've updated. They've been really leaking some screenshots to us for a few months now. But available now. So this one gives you the UH-1C and UH-1H. So these are the single engine variants. So the early models of the Huey. It comes through with some classic liveries and some sort of the original operational color schemes of the US Army and US Marines. Coming with a few different versions as well, including the miniguns and the door rockets and door guns as well. So yeah, looking pretty cool. There is also this time around as well some civilian versions as well, without the weapons added on that one, and the civilian versions do have the option to have modern third-party avionics inputted as well. So if you do like flying with a few more modern luxuries in there, you can do that. Now, what is interesting about this one as well is that they've not only is this multi-platform, so it's a single installer, gives you across the ESP family range, so F6 Steam and P3D versions 2 and 3. It is also preset and pre-enabled for TACPack. So if you do have TACPack for those platforms, you are able to use it with this one. So it is fully functional with that as well. So not having to pay extra for the TACPack version, it is actually integrated, which is kind of cool. Available now from the Milviz site and from your favorite flight sim retailer for around about $50 US dollars or your regional equivalent. Available now. Alrighty, sticking with the FSX and P3D world at the moment for another aircraft release. Well, this is another one of those Steam Edition re-releases. So, this week we saw the Iris Simulations PC9A move on to the FSX Steam Edition store. Now, just before this, I started recording this, I did get confirmation from Iris Simulations that this is actually their Pro Training Edition. So, when I first saw it, I wasn't sure whether it was like the old one that was actually then made available for freeware, then pulled from being freeware for a while, whether it was the updated one. It is the updated one, so it is the Pro Flight series. Now, again, when it comes to F6 Steam Edition versions of stuff. I do have mixed feelings about it. Like, I do like the fact that, Steam Edition, gives you one. If for those of you who for those of us who only, well, those of you who only fly in F6 Steam Edition, it's great to be able to have everything all in one place. The only thing is that it doesn't come with all the really cool liveries. So all the actual RAAF liveries and the BAE test liveries and the Royal Air Force test liveries, they're all removed. So it's just generic Iris, sort of generic ones that are included. Which, yeah, look, I don't agree with Dovetail's stance on it, but, I understand it. Don't agree with it, but I understand it. So this is why I'm always kind of dubious about whether, just tell you whether to support getting them and things like that on the Steam. But as I said, it is available now on Steam, or alternatively, you can pick up the version directly from the Iris web store or from your favorite flight sim retailer. As I said, it is the same version. It is the Pro Training Edition, so yeah, the latest version. Funnily enough, I have done a review video on this aircraft. I'll put a link in the description down below if you are thinking about picking it up. But as I said, it's up to you guys whether you do want to grab it via the Steam Edition store or whether you want to grab it from a third-party retailer. My personal preference would be the third-party retailer because you get all the really amazing liveries. Just going to throw it out there. Anyway, but yes, available now from the Steam Edition store for $25 US or your regional equivalent, available now. Alrighty, sticking with the FSX and P3D world at the moment with a couple of scenery releases this week. So we saw the guys over at BDO Aviation. They have continued on the Italian juggernaut that does continue with this one, with all the releases for Italian scenery and airports at the moment. So this is the airport of Lamesa Terme. So on a coastal plain off the coast of Italy, on the coastline of Italy. The airport's been around since the 1960s, and this is modeled as it looks in 2015. So complete with the extended runway. Not really much to say about this one. The screenshots don't look too bad. The photoreel's a bit of a hit and miss, but the overall scenery actually looks quite good. It does espouse the fact that it does have low poly models, but it actually looks quite detailed if they're low polys. Like, that looks really detailed for low polys, so just saying. Randomly in the feature list is hand-placed taxiway sign. Not sure why that got on the list, but there you go. That's cool. But it does show the both the passenger and the cargo terminals in some pretty cool detail, along with some static aircraft for fire support in the area. So yeah, looking not bad. Reasonably priced as well. Coming available now from Sim Market at the moment for €18 or your regional equivalent. So available now. In a second Italian release, seriously, I don't know what it is, and I know a few other commentators in the simulation world are sort of continue to be surprised with the sheer volume of Italian airports coming out at the moment. But anyway, so we've got another one. So this one's coming out from Aerosoft, so developed by David Rosenfield and published by Aerosoft. So this is Milano Malpensa X. So Milano, the fashion capital of the world, is serviced by this airport. And it's this is actually the home of sort of the where Italian aircraft and design sort of first started, including Savio Machetti. So there's all sort of started in this region, and it's one of the few airports left there. So it's and it also serves as the hub, as a primary hub for Alitalia, the Italian state airline. So this has been beautifully recreated. We've got some seasonal photo reel as well coming through with 0.5 meter per pixel resolution. Looking like some very, very detailed airport buildings as well. Really bringing it to life. Some of the cool stuff I like is the fact that you got like the train nearby, how it's actually in a little culvert. They've actually modeled that, and some of the detail in the buildings just looks batshit insane, like really, really good. As usual with anything released by Aerosoft, it is fully compatible with the animated jetways from the SODE system. Land class data is in land class data and texture information is all matched to work with Orbix products for the region as well as updated night lighting, beautifully detailed autogen and customized autogen for the airport and its surrounding areas, as well as full support of integration version of the airport enhancement services available from Aerosoft as well. So looking quite impressive. A little bit more expensive this one, but not much considering how much more detail you get. So coming around for around about €22 or your regional equivalent, available now from Aerosoft directly or from your favorite flight sim retailer. Alrighty, continuing on with the FSX P3D world at the moment. So this was a huge release. Now I sort of covered this with an interview with the guys over at Rex Simulations back in from Flight SimCon, and I've been anxiously awaiting this. I've been really excited to see this, and I have just purchased it. So you look for a video showcasing this coming out very, very shortly. So we've got Worldwide Airports HD. So this is an insane project from the guys over at Rex to basically go through and overhaul like every airport in FSX by overhauling the actual default textures and default buildings. So going through, completely covering off your airport terminals, your jetways, small, medium, large, all the different sizes of airport hangars, new jetways, new 3D airport vehicle models as well, regionalized as well, and also cool things like, for example, being able to actually be able to do different texture sets, so you can customize it for the regions you're flying in. You can even do it so that you actually have like airport buildings and stuff actually for your favorite airlines, so they actually show off some of the airlines that you might regularly want to fly to. So you can have airline specific hangars, you can have incredibly detailed generic airport ones. It's just insane. It works beautifully and seamlessly with the other ranges of texture add-ons to the Rex Texture Direct as well. So it's just insane the amount of stuff that's actually in here. It really is crazy. So yeah, really excited and really looking forward to actually take this out for a spin. So look for that video coming out soon. But it is available now. So it is available now either directly from the Rex web store or available from your flight sim retailer. Available now. Alrighty, and continuing on with the FSX P3D family. God, there's a lot of stuff coming out this week. Seriously, like, you know, anybody think Christmas was coming early? Anyway, so we got an interesting one this week. This release this week. So from the guys over at Turbine Sound Studio. So these guys always produce some pretty amazing, high quality sound sets. So they go through, you know, everything from your internal engine sounds and all the rest of it. This is one of their pilot editions. But what makes this one interesting though is the fact that it's not for payware. So most TSS, so this is for the Antonov AN124 Progress. So most of the Turbine Sound Studio stuff is they do contract work for a lot of aircraft developers, or otherwise they'll do sound sets that are optimized, designed to work with a lot of popular payware, though can be, you know, used on freeware stuff as well. This one is the first one that I'm aware of that is designed from the ground up, that is designed specifically to work with a freeware release. So this is designed to work with the AN124 model by Thomas Ruth, pretty much the only quality one out there of the 124 for the P3D family, for the ESP family. So yeah, this is designed to work with that one, and includes all your amazing HD sounds recorded from an actual AN124. So it's got the height, the three spooling height, the sounds of the Loratev D18Ts of the engines in there. It's got an incredible range of sounds for all your cockpit environments, wind sounds from the aircraft going through the air, gear up, gear down, APUs, like the whole 9 yards is all featured in here, and just looks like it's going to be a really cool add-on. So if you want to add to your auditory experience with your freeware Antonov AN124, this is probably one that you're going to want to grab. Available now from Sim Market and available from your favorite flight sim retailer for around about €12, or your regional equivalent. Available now. And finally, in the other news in the ESP world, of course, is the news from Orbix. So Orbix have done a little bit of rebranding. So this is something that they've been talking about doing for a while. So this is Orbix Direct. So what they've done is they've updated their FTX Central to FTX Central version 3. Now, what this does now is this essentially now moves, Orbix are now moving to a model where they are actually sort of be selling their products themselves. So previously, it's always been available through the Flight Sim store. It's been sort of like the exclusive place to actually grab all of your Orbix scenery. But now it's going to be available directly from Orbix directly. And my understanding is that they were talking about phasing out their work with with Flight Sim Store, and a quick check of the Flight Sim Store website means that they have pulled that family, that product line from their range. So yeah, if you're going to want your Orbix products now, you are now only going to be able to buy it through the Orbix website. Essentially, how it works is that it works much like the previous FTX Central version 2, where it sort of combines, we can download everything, but this time it now integrates it, so it's the one place where you download and update everything through there, and all purchases are made through the website. The original talk was that you're going to be able to purchase through the actual application as well. That doesn't look like it's been introduced as yet, so I anticipate that's coming soon as well. And again, it's also seen the reintroduction of the demos, of all the demos of the three main products that Orbix offers. So yes, for those of you looking for that one, you are available to update this one now, just by heading over to the Orbix's new website, orbixdirect.com. Now, quick word of warning though, so this has come from a few users of this one in the early release of this one, is make a backup of your scenery.cfg file, as some funky things have apparently been happening to your scenery.cfg file. So just it's nothing too nasty, but it is something that just to be aware of. That some users are reporting corruption and or issues with how it actually gets arranged and re-injected back into your sim. So just a word of warning with that one. Not all users are reporting it, some are. So just FYI on that one. That is a word of warning for that one. Alrighty. Oh, good lord! And I almost forgot the other release, the other big release for this week. So, recently over on many of you is probably also viewers of Jordan King and Frugal Sim as well. Recently, you would have seen a first impressions video of the and of course the FSFX packages new product chase plane camera system. So FSFX primarily are known for doing environmental and aircraft effects in absolutely incredible, amazing detail, both for like a generic for across the board, and also immersion packages specifically for PMDG and the Aerosoft Airbus products, as well as the Flyware Sims Learjet 35. Primarily, that's what they're known for, but they're breaking the market to take on the challenge, the EasyDocs sort of hold and grip on the camera utility market for the ESP platform. So they come out with Chase Plane. They revealed it a few months ago and sort of showed it off in a couple of live streams. It is now available in alpha, so you can, if you do want to help with support of it, you can actually join the alpha program now and purchase it. It is available for purchase for $40 or your regional equivalent now. Sorry, $39 or your regional equivalent available now. Now, word of warning: this is an alpha release, so FSFX have said that there are bugs, there are lots of bugs, there are issues, but it looks absolutely insane. It looks really, really cool, particularly with the quality we're going to see from here. I do highly recommend, if you not so sure about it, whether you want to, as I said, if you're going to get into it, you have to understand that it is an alpha product, so there are going to be some bugs, but have a look over at Frugal's first impressions video, because yeah, it does look absolutely insane. Have a look at the launch trailer as well, looking absolutely amazing. And for a list of features here as well, you can head over to the FSFX packages website as well and have a look and see what's available now and what's going to be coming in the roadmap for at the moment, a scheduled release for Q1 in 2017. So about 6 months away, but as I said, if you do want to help development and come out and help everyone and help the guys over at FSFX actually get this product to market and be everything they want it to be, you can jump in and help now. Alrighty, that does now, I'm pretty sure that now wraps up the ES Play platform news. Wow, there was a lot with this week, wasn't there? Alright, cool. Moving on, continuing with the flight simulation vein at the moment, but moving on to X-Plane 10. So we saw a couple of releases, a couple of payware releases this week in the world of X-Plane. So the first one we saw was the Hawker 4000. So this is a new bizjet based on Hawker's venerable 850 design. So this is a big one. So this is a 10-seat business jet developed by Hawke Beechcraft. It's still as far as I know, the prototypes flown. As far as I know, I'm not sure if there's actually a production variant is available yet. But no, it doesn't mean that we can't fly it now in X-Plane. So available now for X-Plane. Done with some absolutely amazing looking both internal and exterior modeling and textures are looking incredible here for this one. The textures do support up to 4K resolution. It's looking pretty damn amazing with a full set of customized system and customized coded for your actual glass cockpit scenario, glass cockpit setup with all full support for SID stars, transitions, full navigations and everything with performance page, and fully compatible with Aerosoft and NovaWrap data as well. So this is available for X-Plane 10, the Hawker 4000 are coming out for about $40 or your original equivalent, available now. In a second release from the guys for X-Plane as well. So this is a little known and not a commercially successful airliner, but this is the Fokker 614. So this was a short haul airliner, but it was designed to be able to operate off short unprepared strips, and essentially think of it like as a rough field performance 717. Pretty much, this is pretty much what it is. So the initial business plans probably wasn't such a bad idea. Sell it to developing countries where the infrastructure would be somewhat unreliable at best. So it was designed to be able to take off from all sorts of hazardous conditions. So it meant that the engine nacelles were mounted very, very high up on the rear of the fuselage. To be able to make sure that they could be able to avoid any kind of ingestion issues, and ironically, actually made it so that the noise actually was fairly not a very noisy aircraft, because it meant that a lot of the airflow was actually very efficient and didn't carry the sound downwards. Very useful. But unfortunately, it was not a commercial success. Though ironically, it would actually go on and serve as a test bed with Airbus. So Airbus actually had at least one of the units which would actually serve as a flying test bed for a lot of their technology as a technology demonstrator, where they were going to actually test things that would actually end up moving on to much of the Airbus range, including the A380, where actually test its fly-by-wire system and all that kind of stuff. So a cool little history with a very interesting very interesting model with this one as well. But this is because it is a 19 sort of 70s 80s design. Means that there's none of this glass cockpit rubbish here. It's all steampunk gauges and stuff like that. Very steam gauge driven, very basic autopilots and INS setup for this one. So it's a very, very beautifully detailed model of this one, based on modelled off an actual one that's still preserved in the Aeronautica Museum in Nordholz in Germany. So looking absolutely stunning, this really does, and really is a testament to what can be done in X-Plane. So yeah, really, really cool. So yes, that is, if you want to relive a bit of a what could have been, or a technology demonstrator, this is available now for your X-Plane 10 experience, available now for $33 or your regional equivalent. Alrighty, well, that wraps up the flight simulation releases for this week. Wow, that was a lot, wasn't it? It was, as I said, anybody think it was Christmas? Anyway, alright, let's move on into other things for the simulation world. So let's move on to as we often do, onto the permanent way with Train Simulator. So this week we saw a new release for the Train Simulators. This week we saw the Chessie System U30C locomotive. So this was a freight. A diesel-powered freight locomotive, very, very powerful, constructed during the 60s and 70s. So this was actually go through and was put through to actually use very, very heavy haulage because of its over 3,000 horsepower actual unit. So it was a very, very long distance, long haul, heavy hauling locomotive, mostly used on a lot of the coal and mining runs, and actually sort of ferrying the actual raw material for where it could actually be processed or on sold. So yeah, looking pretty impressive, fully compatible as quick drive as well. Now it does include 4 scenarios. However, like we see with a lot of the Train Simulator, a lot of inter DLC dependency going on here. All 4 of these scenarios will only operate with the Norfolk Southern Coal District route, which is available available separately. So, yes, 4 scenarios available, but yeah, you do have to have the separate DLC to make them work. Oh, of course, however, of course, it is fully compatible with Steam Workshop scenarios and fully QuickDrive compatible, so you can make your own scenarios as well. So yeah, it's available now. Comes with a couple of different liveries, as well as the coal hopper and a whole heap of rolling stock for that as well. So looking quite impressive for you. For those of you who wish to go long hauling some cargo on the permanent way, available now for $25 or your regional equivalent. Available now on Steam. Alrighty, sticking with the ground, moving on to the racetrack this week. So the Ride 2. So Ride 2 was released about a month or so ago, and we covered it off here on the NovaWrap about a month ago. Now, they released another DLC content for this one. So this is their limited edition bike pack. So this one comes with 6 new iconic racing and limited edition bikes that were sort of mostly ones that were sort of compete, very small numbers, sort of around usually less than 200 models of these bikes were actually produced. So these we've got a variety of different ones here. We've got Bimotor, we've got Suzuki, Yamaha, Suter, MV Agusta, and Aprilia bikes all make an appearance in this DLC pack. For those of you who did buy the special edition bundle, this is part of that special edition bundle, and rounds out the final piece of the extra DLC that you would have pre-ordered as part of that pack. Otherwise, if you do just have the basic Ride 2 and you do want to grab these bikes, you can. Available now, only $60 or your original equivalent on Steam, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of you moto rev heads out there who would love zipping around some tracks in this. Available now on Steam. Alright, so now moving on into the world of football. So, Football Manager 2017 has just been released. Now, the interesting part of this is the fact that they announced this back in 2015, very late in 2015, that they were going to be doing this. I think it's 2015 or maybe it was early 2016, but it's finally come out and is available now. But here's the thing, is that it's come out in 2 versions. So it's come out as Football Manager 2017 and Football Manager Touch 2017. The Football Manager 2017 it looks like it's, on the surface it seems, I'll own up. I don't play the sports simulation game. Okay, I don't play them, so I'm always just having to go off what other people say. But basically, it's being destroyed by customer comments, by user comments. It's just what the hell. Basically, a lot of people saying that nothing's really changed from the previous release of 2016, and there's just nothing seems to actually be able to there's very little actual changes. It's all cosmetic. They're able to import stuff from 2016 straight into 2017 without any issues, and it just seems to be not living up to expectations, shall we say. Then they've also added on Football Manager Touch 2017 now, which. Okay, maybe it's just my untrained eye, but it looks exactly the same, except with not as good graphics and optimized for a touch interface. So if you're running on a tablet, then this is probably going to be the one for you. And what makes it even more interesting is the fact that checking on the developer's website, so on Sports Interactive's website, is basically the Football Manager Touch 2017 version is actually an iOS Android port. Yeah. It's designed for mobile devices, it's not designed for PCs. So, not really sure what they're doing with that. But anyway, as I said, the fans seem to be slating it. So, yeah, as I said, I'm bringing it to you guys because it's simulation news. But yeah, as I said, it doesn't interest me, so I won't be getting it. But if you are a fan or a disappointed fan, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Football Manager 2017 or Touch 2017. Because, as I said, I can't really figure it out. And the other thing is that the Touch 2017 just seems to be a microtransaction frenzy. The base title is $27, and then it just seems to be that if you want to do anything with it, you've got to purchase the DLC, the DLC for it, which is another $30. So I'm like, okay, cool story. Why don't you just put the whole thing on there? Just not gonna lie. Anyway, but yes, if the sports simulation genre is for you, this might be something you might want to look at, or no, maybe not look at. Not sure. So available now on Steam. The full version is $60 US, and the touch version is $27 US plus DLC. So available now on Steam. Alrighty, and rounding out the simulation news for this week, we saw two titles exit early access. So we've got World Ship Simulator and European Ship Simulator and World Ship Simulator. So these two titles have been pretty much in development hell for the last 2.5 years. So these European Ship Simulator first appeared on early access in 2014, early 2014. It then branched out into having World Ship Simulator as well. It's gone through a whole heap of stuff. I want to say that, it looks like European Ship Simulator on the surface seems pretty interesting. It's got full views of your of the actual bridge, as well as the external 3D models, but it only seems to be port related. Like, you actually don't seem to do the actual journey through open water, whereas World Ship Simulator is a fictitious environment where you actually have the open water. So you go port to port through the actual open world and open water. But it's a fictitious world, it's not actual real. And both these titles just seem to be confused, and graphically looking at them, they kind of look like they belong on mobile devices. Like, they look, as I said, I don't have these, probably not going to get them. They look better than Ships 2017 that I reviewed on the channel last week, but it's still looking pretty rough. And the other weird part is that it's like, as I said, they just seem to be confused. Both these titles just seem to be a little confused about what they're doing, what they want, what they're aiming for. So European Ship Simulator has 8 ships, 6 ports to explore, and 20 missions. Whereas World Ship Simulator has 6 ships. It does support customizable and Steam Workshop support for adding in additional ships. It's got a career mode. It looks like it's launching with about, again, 6 or 7 ports as well. And you can actually go out and get pick up missions as well as doing crew on the ship. So, as I said, they just seems to be a bit confused about what they're trying to do, both of these titles. So, yes, anyway, both of these published by Excalibur and Merge Games. So, yeah, available now on Steam. So, European Ship Simulator available now for $20 US, and World Ship Simulator also available for $20. As I said, don't have it, not going to review it, not going to get it, so don't expect to see a review video from me, but just, I watch the YouTube videos because they're not exactly positive of it. Anyway, as I said, finally, these have both left development early access hell and available now, full versions available now as of this week, available now on Steam. Alrighty, that does wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, don't forget you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for watching. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.